Next, minor misuse of ICT in schools. Some minor misuse made by learners including the following. So first, copying information into assignment and failing to acknowledge the source. Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko kaninang plagiarism. So, kung nag-copy-paste ka na hindi naman sa'yo yung idea, kailangan mo kunin yung reference niya or yung pangalan ng author. Kasi nga, hindi yun pwede maaari kang makasuhan nun. And then second, downloading material not relevant to their studies. Kunwari pa cellphone ka sa klase pero hindi naman pala nakapaloob doon yung dina-download mo. And third, misconduct associated with subject logins such as using someone password. Dito naman yung mga scammer na gumagamit ng iba't ibang uri ng Facebook account na hindi naman sa kanila. And then fourth, leaving a mobile phone turned on during class period. Dito naman, yung mayroong mga estudyante na wala ng respeto. If unauthorized taking of picture or image with mobile phone, carrier still, or moving. Dito naman yung mga stolen na hindi naman dapat gawin. Kasi nga magkakaroon nga ng cyberbullying kapag lalo na hindi nyo ginathink kung ano yung ginapost nyo sa FB, kung hindi ba kayo makakasakit ng ibang tao kapag nakikita nila yung picture nila na nakapost na wala lang permeso nila. So, kailangan iwasan natin magkuha ng mga picture na walang permeso doon sa tao na kinukunan natin. Okay, next, some issues on ICT and Internet policy and regulations. So, in global issues, access and civil liberties are two sets of issues in ICT policy which are crucial to the modern society. The other concern is civil liberties, which refer to the human right and freedom, because this includes freedom of expression, the right to privacy, the right to communicate, and intellectual property rights. It's access to the use of internet and ICT. Access means the possibility for everyone to use the internet and other media in richer countries. So, kagaya ng sinasabi ko na magkakaroon ng kalayaan sa paggamit ng teknolohiya. Ngunit, kailangan na sa tamang pamamaraan ang paggamit ng teknolohiya kasi nga, sa'yo lang din babalik yung consequences kung ang paggamit mo nito ay wala sa tamang pamamaraan. Basic access to internet is most available to all with faster broadband connections. There are still countries where access to the internet is still a challenge. So, mayroon talagang country na kung saan mahirap i-access yung internet sa kanila. Kaya nga maswerte na lang tayo na nandito kasi nga madali lang tayong maka-access ng internet. Kung ano yung mga pangangailangan natin, i-research lang natin, lalo na sa ating pag-study. Nakakatulong talaga yung teknolohiya. Let's proceed to issue number 1, which is freedom of expression and censorship. Under international human rights conventions, all people are guaranteed the rights for free expressions. However, with a shift from communicating through letter, newspaper, and public meetings to electronic communications and online network, this is a need to investigate how this new means modifies the understanding of freedom of expression and censorship. For example, individual rights are given up having access to electronic networks. Censorship restricts the transmission of information by blocking it or filtering the information. So, ito na nga yung sinasabi ko na freedom of expression. Kumbaga pa, kailangan mo kunin yung kanyang opinion at hindi mo kailangan na i-filter. Kasi nga, yun yung opinion niya na dapat malaman ng ibang tao. Kaya nga tinatawag siyang freedom of expression kasi doon nila na-express or malaya nilang na-express yung kanilang opinion through online or through gamit itong technology. Kasi nga, hindi natin maiwasan sa mga vlogger na yan. Minsan, may kinukuha lang sila na isang detailed na issue na kung saan maaring magamit nila para magkakapera sila. Yan, so, issue number 2, privacy and security. So, privacy policies are an issue. Most commercial sites have a privacy. When someone uses a site, click a agree button. So, kung ating napapansin sa lahat ng mga websites, mayroon silang rules na kailangan mong pindutin yung agree. It means na sumusunod ka sa kanilang rule. So, mag-open na din na siya. Then, it is as if you have turned over private information to any authority that may access it. For most, privacy means personal privacy. Next, issue number 3, surveillance and data retention. The use of electronic communications has enhanced the development of indirect surveillance. The new and powerful form of indirect surveillance is data surveillance. Data surveillance is the use of personal information to monitor a person's activities, while data retention is the storage and use of information from communication system. So, dito sa data surveillance, ito yung mga personal information para ma-monitor mo yung person's activities. Halimbawa, dito is yung stalker ka, mag-stalk ka ng tao. Halimbawa dyan sa FB na yan, may in-stalk ka na tao. Kumbaga pa, doon sa story niya is mayroong mga collection. So, doon kung mapapansin mo, in-stalk mo isa-isa yung mga activities ng ginagawa ng taong yun. So, yun yung tinatawag na data surveillance. Well, yung data retention naman is yung doon sa activity log. Kung napapansin nyo dyan sa setting, and then punta ka sa activity log, meron dyang archive story. So, pindutin mo, doon mo makikita yung mga naipon na mga ginamay-di mo, gina-story mo, nandun na lahat. So, that is data retention. Kumbaga pa, binabalik-balikan mo. Binabalik-balikan mo yung mga alaala ng mga mahal mo sa buhay. Next, issue number 4, e-pollutants from e-waste. If not controlled, the e-waste will tremendously affect climate change, damage human lives, and overload the capacity of the earth in carrying solid waste. Both the teachers and learners should be mindful of the e-waste that are being thrown away to the land and to the atmosphere. So, kung ating mapapansin yung mga sirang TV, sirang gadgets, kung ating napapansin, most of the mga shop na napupuntahan natin is meron talagang mga bagay na sinusunog nila, which is wrong. Kasi nga makaka-apekto yan sa pamumuhay natin, hindi lang sa atin, kundi sa lahat ng namumuhay dito sa earth. Yung mga hayop natin, so that is wrong. Yan yung tinatawag nating e-waste. That is the issue. So, we have the e-safety rules. It takes care not only of internet technologies but also of electronic communication via mobile phones, game consoles, and wireless technology. So, to avoid or prevent the aforementioned issues, we must be observe the following e-safety rules. So, mayroon tayong 10. So, first, keep personal information professional and limited. Hindi mo naman kailangan sabihin yung personal info mo para maging aware sila sa life mo. Second, keep your privacy settings on. Kailangan yun siya. Third, practice safe browsing para hindi ka ma-scam kung ano kayang mga bagay na gusto mong gawin through online. Fourth, make sure your internet connection is secure. Dapat secure talaga yan siya. Fifth, be careful what you download. Hindi mo naman kailangang i-download yung hindi naman talagang kailangan. Six, choose a strong passwords para hindi magamit ng ibang tao yung account mo. 7, make sure online purchase from secure sites kasi maraming scammer ngayon sa panahon na crisis. 8, be careful what you post. Dito naman, dapat think before you post. Then 9, be careful who you meet online. Kasi nga mayroong iba't ibang uri ng tao na hindi naman natin alam, hindi naman sa lahat na masama. Then 10, keep your antivirus program update. Last, according to Christian laws lang, nag-iwan siya ng salita that technology is a useful servant but a dangerous master. So that's all. Thank you and goodbye.